thought I was already done with a Kitbash action figure recipe in a previous video. But once again, an idea has come into mind, so I took that figure apart and here we go. So we have a 3-figure recipe for this Wednesday. Okay, so let's start with figure number 1. So this is my version of Shipwreck. So I just had an idea taking a look at the steel core Kitbash action figure that I made, which was featured in a previous video. And I was looking at it and somehow I thought that there could still be something better with this action figure. And I also had another idea with another action figure which I'm going to show. So I started with taking the steel core action figure apart and putting shipwreck parts to the mold. Okay, so what's the original steel core parts on this action figure? It's going to be the body, it's going to be the man briefs, and it's going to be the legs. The boots, those are different pair of boots, not the ones that I had in the previous video. So I think this is from Cobra Officer, I think. I already lose track of parts from which comes from which, but I think that I am right. Okay, so in a previous video we used the G.I. Joe Classified Series Shockwave belt. We also used the G.I. Joe Classified Series Shockwave holsters and weapons. Okay, so the arms, this comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series Shipwreck. Somehow the color really matches the body. Perfect mixture. The arm set, the blue side of the arm set does not fight off the blue on the steel core body. Okay, so the chest harness, which holds on to a molded Micro 9 pistol, that comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series Copperhead. This backpack, I have to remember once again from which action figure I had harvested this from. I should have really tagged the accessory, but I wasn't able to tag. It's just in a bag of bugs. So I just took it out and somehow I wanted something little, just something just right, a mission pack, possibly a 2 or 3 hour mission pack, something that he could carry on his person, not a very voluminous bag, just something that is small and tactical. Okay, just to store the right equipment that he needs for a mission. Anyway, I'm not going to accessorize this figure any further. Plus the addition of a bag, actually that is the second intended purpose, because I was looking for something that I could mount a knife on. So I saw the copperhead chest harness and I didn't mind the molded pistol. So what, I just wanted something to mount the knife. So this knife comes from a NECA action figure, from which one I already forgot, but I tagged this in a very small bag. I marked it with NECA, so I know that it comes from a NECA figure. Okay, so we have a knife for shipwreck. Okay, so the neck of the action figure, that comes from the General Hawk action figure, but the neck connector comes from another G.I. Joe Classified Series action figure. I just mixed and matched neck pegs or connectors with something that would really fit the shipwreck head, that it won't look too high or look too low. So that's it. But the neck piece, that comes from General Hawk. So that's a very simple recipe for a new shipwreck action figure. Plus, see, I opted to use the shipwreck arms because the steel core arms, it was just plain blue, long sleeves, not much details on it. But with the shipwreck arms, you have the trident, rank, and tattoos. So full of detail, which actually adds more accent or aesthetic value to the action figure. So just to point out differences between two action figures, so both of these are Kitbash versions of Shipwreck. But this action figure, that's 100%, the base body is 100% Shipwreck. So I just added accessories to it. But with this other figure, that's a mixture and matching of different parts from different action G.I. Joe Classified series action figures. So let's move on. Okay, so the new figure of General Hawk is going to be this one. So this is my as of present date, this is my displayed version of General Hawk. So battlefield version of General Hawk. So let's first do a 360 view of this figure. Okay, so this figure also has its own video in my playlist. So just getting rid of the bomber's jacket and using different accessories to this action figure, so we came up with Battlefield General Hawk. So I wanted something different, that's why I came up with this version, because I wanted a jetpack or a flight pack General Hawk. So the best use of a bomber's jacket. Okay, so let us first do a 360 view of this figure. A figure that started its life as General Hawk, and later on we added parts to it. Okay, we changed the boot set. So the boot set comes from G.I. Joe Classified series Copperhead, which I placed before on a G.I. Joe Classified series steel core build. So from the steel core build, we made a flight pack General Hawk. Okay, so the vest that comes from steel core, so with the helmet and the flight pack. When I bought this action figure loose, it already had the jetpack included, but it did not come with the helmet of General Hawk, but it was okay. So anyway, since I already had an idea of a mix as to possibly how I would like to the new figures to look like. Okay, so now this is the new inception or version of General Hawk. So the chest mounted pistol, so we just cut off the straps and glued the holster to the vest. So the steel core vest had a vacant lot on this side, which somehow this did not make sense, because we have pouches on this side, pouches, a grenade, and then a very small pouch and just a straight strap. Did not make sense. So to fill that void or space, so I added the holster and the pistol. Very simple build. So this way we have a flight pack General Hawk. And as to have a really proper mount for the use of this helmet, I changed the General Hawk neck piece and its connector. So it's sporting now, I think that comes from G.I. Joe Classified series Outback, because I think the Tiger Force Outback had a hinge, so that allows for flight poses like this, wherein you are able to really have the figure look up for flight pose like this. So there's that hinge, and that is the motion that we want for this figure, up and down. Okay, so very simple build or mix for a new General Hawk action figure. Am I going to add a alternate head to this? Nah, because I already have this. So just different versions. Instead of swapping out heads, I have these two figures. So let's move to the third figure. So third figure would be G.I. Joe Classified Series Shockwave. It's always going to be something new when you're kitbashing action figures. So with the lot of parts and accessories that I have, taking a look at the action figure, I know that the Grant head, which I had previously on this action figure, I could really do more. So I introduced a different head unit and a helmet for this action figure. So the previous changes which I already introduced to this action figure would be the boots, the tie-mounted accessories, the pistol belt, and right now it's going to sport a different rifle, a different helmet and goggles, and a different neck piece. So utilizing this Star Wars Black Series action figure, this is going to be the Imperial officer from the Star Wars Andor series. Okay, so take a look at the head and take a look at the helmet. So that's the helmet that I used for this figure. Actually, I already had it on a previous Shockwave build, but I did not trim the side skirts of the helmet, unlike this version wherein I really went on cutting off portions of the helmet. So the goggles that comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series Airborne. So anyway, that's an excess on that action figure which I was thinking of using with another build. So thought of this, so we slap it on that helmet. Okay, so why this helmet? Because actually I read this head unit is more acceptable as a Shockwave character head. Okay, that's the reason why we put down the balaclava. Okay, so we could either have the balaclava covering his face instead of the entire head, just the face, and we have the helmet on. Okay, so options, which is going to really improve the look or the aesthetic value of the action figure. So take a look at that. So looks better aside instead of the one from G.I. Joe Classified series and the 80s O-ring version, which had a full head balaclava and a pillbox cap. Somehow that really does not make sense to me now. It's just if you're going to sport a helmet or a head cover like a pillbox cap, you have a full head balaclava, it's going to be really hot. You're going to die of hyperthermia. Okay, so that's the reason why I used a soft goods material to have a half-faced balaclava. So I could put that balaclava down, or I could just cover half of the head unit and have a helmet on it, which actually makes sense because this action figure has a ballistic shield. So if he's not sporting a rifle, just his sidearm and ballistic shield, there you go. So that's the option instead of having a long firearm and a full-on ballistic shield, which does not make sense. Okay, but just for this kind of version of Shockwave, works. So very tactical. So that's it, 3-figure recipe. So if you have the parts which I mentioned or the action figures that is on the table, then you could possibly do this if you wish to. But I'm just sharing my ideas for play. So that's the beauty of kit bashing, because somehow when you have another action figure recipe and you have the parts and the figures, then you could do it instead of always hunting for the latest and the greatest, or just possibly ordering accessories online and refitting your action figures, and somehow you pile up a lot of accessories that somehow gets forgotten. So that's the reason why I stopped ordering new items to add to my action figures, and I really bugged and dug and remembered as much as possible which parts or accessories belongs to, because that's it. If you're doing these things, it really would give you joy. Putting new action figure builds to your own collection instead of finding chase figures. So you have your own version or your chase figures which you alone have. And when at the end of the day, or a kit bashing or customization session, you're really proud of your work. Or even if other people don't like it but you like it, then that's the purpose of play. So if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe, and please do help this channel by clicking on the notifications button. So see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.